So listen, we're gonna girly pop politics this morning.
We are the weirdos, mister.
I save so much stuff. It's like Reddit. I've been watching a lot of Hassan, a lot of denims. I'm trying to stay away from white men, like watching white men. Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing. I'm not trying to hear it, okay? It's been hard to sleep. Do you know what I mean? So first up, same about the men, but I can't get away from those two basement podcast guys. Yeah, like listen, I know that the world's been like super stressful, and I'm girly pop politicking today because I just think that sometimes we just need politics to just be a little girly, a little pretty, a little, like a lot of makeup. Sometimes people think we're dumb because we're cute. Maybe I am, but I'm learning. I think for a long time I very regularly tried to stay away from talking about politics because I feel like if I don't have like
people keep correcting me, telling me that it's Cybertruck and not Tesla truck. I don't fucking care. I don't care what it's called. I hate them. I hate them. I need them off the streets. I need them off the road. I need them on the highway. I need them out of my town. I need them out of my country. Fuck. I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of Tesla trucks. Cybertrucks. Fuck.
That is literally one of my favorite redeems. Watching Elon Musk break down all the time because people hate him. I'm never going to get tired of it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have a party every single time. I hope his feelings are crushed every day because he's dumb. Anybody who thinks he's smart, you're dumb too. We have been presented multiple times with how he's not smart. And people are like, oh no, well, you have to be smart to have that kind of money. Not if it's handed to you. No, you don't. Look at Trump. Like, you don't have to be smart to have money handed to you. You just don't. You can have smart people tell you what to invest in, and you can bully your way into companies because you have the money to do so. You can bully your way into being called a founder of Tesla when you're not. You didn't make anything. But I feel like because I don't have like all of this knowledge and know everything, it just bothers me. And I feel like I can't speak on things because I'm not the academic person. Like I'm an artist. Arts. That's what I like. That's what I studied in school. Art, theater, movies, and film to be exact. That was what I did. I walked in with a international relations major and walked out with film. I took one class in my international relations because I'm relatively good with languages and accents and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, hey, maybe I can be a translator for the government because apparently I didn't really understand. I thought I could help. Anyways, I thought I could be a helpful bitch. Turns out incorrect. But I was sitting in the class. I was like, none of this has to do with anything like that I care about. So anyways, I ended up doing like one act plays and tap and like and studying film and like just all this kind of stuff. So the US is very embarrassing. And like I said, I've been watching a lot of Hassan, which has been very helpful. I've been watching a lot of Olay and Friends. I've been watching a lot of Foreign Fridays, Big Buddy Foreign. Big Buddy Foreign. I love him. He's so just a genuine, like I don't know him for real. He's very genuine and kind and funny. I get theater kids. I was a band kid. I loved band kids, okay? I tried to play the trumpet for this long. It is way harder than I had anticipated it being. And I think my mom is still mad that she spent money on a trumpet that I did not play. But had she not been a black mom, she would have gotten me diagnosed for the ADHD and the autism when it was suspected when I was younger, and she wouldn't run into that problem. So it's her fault in the end. It's her fault. In the end, it's her fault. Like that is not my cross to bear. And I will say that 100% every single time. I just same have. Listen, I wish that people understood how hard it is to be a minority, but we're actually the global majority. And like how our parents will just regularly go, that's white people shit. And we're just like, okay, but I'm drowning. like black and brown people are like, Mom, I'm depressed. And they're like, what are you depressed for? You have a house, you have these things. You're like, oh, okay, that fixed it. Never, sorry I said anything. So first up, I want to talk about this because this has been a little bit funny.
Because when you think about this, they lure these poor people in because they're uneducated and doing away with the Department of Education when white people need it the most. But it don't matter because information and education, that's a kryptonite to them. They don't want to learn. They don't want to do better, right? Get rid of the Department of Education. Start rolling back on Social Security and social programs, welfare, food stamps. They're overwhelmingly on it, dependent upon it, running these farms in these rural countries, using Mexicans for cheap labor, not only on the construction, but to pick their produce. Losing that, going to lose the farm. Heavily invested in crypto, heavily invested in the stock market. Think, oh, Donald Trump, he's a businessman. Stock market's plummeting, losing money, losing millions. And black people is out here on trail rides clapping fans. Nigga. Cause how do we can no longer concern ourselves, bruh. Y'all are the victims of this thing. And because it's being telegraphed that we're the ones that's gonna be the victims, when we talking about rolling back DEI, well, that just means niggas. Even though we're the fifth and who benefits from it, and white women benefit from it the most. When you say woke, they put their life on easy mode to keep them mediocre.
I really hate it when that people use, like, I'm just sad that woke got completely destroyed and taken to mean something it doesn't mean. I just wanted to pause right quick and say that because it really upsets me because I'm just like, that's not what it means. Y'all ruin things a lot. Can y'all?
We're gonna make everything easy for you. We're gonna make sure when you get the job, you get the most money. We're gonna make sure when you go to get the house, no issues. We're gonna make sure when you go to the bank, no issues. We're gonna make sure when you get pulled over by the police, no issues. You live your life on easy so I can keep you mediocre. This idea of supremacy is a fallacy that's orchestrated for control. And they got your mind fucked up and you think you're superior because you white. So when they really put the play down, you too weak to fight back. You don't have any organization. That's why your protest looks like a parade.
That always makes me.
It hasn't even been 90 days. You already regretting the decision that niggas told you. We told you. So niggas say, you know what? Fuck it. Done talking. That's y'all problem now. We're gonna go over here and do our thing. We're gonna make sure that we enroll in self-defense classes. We're going on group hikes. We're going on trail rides. We're gonna continue to have fun. We're gonna continue because guess what? Par for course. Par for course. You want to roll back on the DEI initiative target? We taking the money out of there.
Period.
Young black men at Michigan, University of Michigan, they want to roll back on the DEI initiatives. Hit that transfer portal.
Period.
Because those sports teams ain't doing shit without niggas. Trust me. You want to see 5 white men on the basketball court? You want to see 22 white men on the football field? Have at it. Niggas gonna be O in everything.
I don't know who this man is, but I greatly enjoyed that. I wanted to share it with y'all. This is why I keep saying we need the education. And I think it's very frustrating when you're constantly dealing with people who don't even want to like admit where things are, where they came from, and get so damn defensive when you're trying to explain like, this is why things are bad. We are currently in the midst, like right now, in the midst of the rest of the world realizing we are not a trustworthy ally, okay? Like they've already kind of thought that, but now they know for sure. We are isolating ourselves from the rest of the world. And the fact that there are people literally standing there cheering it on, just be like, yeah, I can't. Like, at what point do you start to recognize that, like, this shit has gone bad? And a lot of y'all are waking up when it's affecting you, which is really weird. I just want you to know, like, yeah, I'm glad you woke up, but also it's wild as fuck that you waited until it negatively impacted you personally. Like, really wild. Like, you can't live your life like that. This is why you have to very regularly fight against that. And like I said that about capitalism before, you have to regularly fight against the cruelty that capitalism wants you to portray. And like, this is going to negatively impact us in so many ways that these people who are cheering and clapping for do not understand. Our tourism is a big part of how we make money here. And it's not just tourism from the US, from people here who go to Disney World or go to the mountains or whatever it is that people do. And it's just newsflash, most of us can't afford to go anywhere here anymore. That's why in that last crash in 2006, they started being like, staycations, Staycations. Why more Americans are having a staycation? Which really, I hated that. That hurt my feelings so bad. I was like, I know y'all bitches are out here trying to make being poor sound normal. Like, I was so pissed off when they started that shit. I'm like, no, we're just broke. We can't go anywhere. Are you serious? We just can't afford to go anywhere. And we also do not have enough vacation time to actually enjoy going somewhere. We don't have the vacation time. Even traveling around America, you just don't have the vacation time. Most of us do not work anywhere or have a system that supports us well enough to actually be able to enjoy going anywhere. So we don't. And you know it's bad when Texas is having protests. I'm going to say that again. There are people in Texas and there are protests. There are protests in East Texas. That is Republican country, East Texas. You know it's bad when they're like handing out flyers like, he lied to us. Okay, like I need y'all to understand the levels that we are getting to. The I've Had It podcast ladies, love them down. I watched a video of theirs and they quite literally summarize something that I had been thinking and saying for a long time. They normally start every podcast with what have you had it with? And it's Jennifer and Pumps.
And takes it out early.
I like that.
Yeah, I know it's
right up my alley.
It's right up your alley. Okay, let me tell you what I've had it with. I've had it with this idea that gets floated a lot in politics that we need to sit down and talk to the other side.
No, we don't.
And here's my thing. I don't want to sit down and have regressive conversations. Like, I feel like MAGA is so regressive. Like, do I really have to sit down and say, this is why I think dictatorships are bad, and get out history books?
Are we there?
Do I have to say it's not? Communities are not good when we don't promote women as equals and then show all the evidence. And it just seems like the burden of this always falls on the left to go sit down with the dipshits and have regressive conversations. And
I love that she said it that way, to go sit down with the dipshits and have regressive conversations. That's my problem. Because again, I'm going to be 45 this month. I've been saying this year, but it is April and I keep forgetting that. Time is fake. I have been attempting and trying for decades at this point to have conversations. It feels like your brain is shorting out because at some point you're just sitting there being like,
I think we all have to draw boundaries and say, we're not talking to stupid. And you can hear them all say, oh, look, you're talking down to them. And I would say, you're goddamn right we are. I'm not going to have regressive conversations wherein I have to explain why democracy is preferable to autocracy. It's insane. And like that you have to explain to somebody, the countries with the best economies, statistically and throughout history, have the best governments. The best governments are typically democracies. It's just insane, the burden that gets put on the left. Meanwhile, the right, it's like they do all of this shit, lie, make shit up with impunity. And the double standard of that drives me crazy. And I don't want to sit down with dipshits and have aggressive conversations.
Amen, girl. Neither do I. I can't do it. There's a level where you start realizing that you're talking to someone who doesn't have any sense. And you can't keep having the same conversation. Like you can't keep grasping. You can't keep clawing for sense. Cause there just comes a point where you're like, I can't do it no more. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to understand but I can't do it. And I live in Texas. The amount of times that you're just trying to explain something, and then they come back with, but Hillary's emails. And you're like, oh my God, what's happening? And then they conveniently forget or haven't found out all the things that Donald Trump did. And here's the thing. I truly need people to understand that the sooner we all get that the Republicans and the Democrats are the same, they are two halves of the same coin. And traditionally what has happened is the Republicans come over, they make everybody rich, including Democrats. and by everybody, I mean the top echelon, right? They make all these people rich and everybody's like, woo. And then the Democrats take office and they hand us down here some scraps and some pittance to make us think that they're doing something for us. Then rinse, wash, and repeat. They do it every time. Like, this is what's happening. This is a regular occurrence. They're both doing this. I'm not a Democrat. I just have to vote for the lesser of two evils at this point. But that's really what's happening. And unfortunately, Donald Trump is here now, and he has fucked the system irreparably. Like, no one's coming to save us, by the way. Like, there's no one who's just gonna show up and like magically save us. This is something we're gonna have to fix. Trying to talk to someone who doesn't even recognize that you are a human, that part. And like, part of being the president is understanding diplomacy and understanding how different cultures work. So him sitting around being like, I'm still waiting on a phone call from China. What do you mean? That's not even how it works. Also, he's not gonna talk to you. I think it's she. He's not gonna come over here and talk to you because the whole world saw what you did with the Ukrainian president. Why would he want to do that? You brought this man over here. You humiliated him and tried to act wild. And one side of people were just like, yeah, he didn't say thank you. Y'all need some help. I swear to God, y'all need so much help. Like, oof, please. But like, why would he come? He's like, we need to have a deal in place and then I'll show up. But like, that's not how their culture works. And the fact that they haven't even figured that out, just like, he's having a parade. The debt ceiling, it's insane at this point. And all of these are people who were like, yeah, we're tired of government spending and waste. Bitch, you don't even know what that is. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you don't even know what that is. You just heard people say government waste and you agreed. And y'all have been agreeing for a very long time that the government should pay for nothing. It's just insane to me, please. So then, this is what we're talking about, because they do this shit and it makes me so fucking frustrated. So somebody said, I love this for you. All right, this is a Trump supporter.
I love this for you. I love this. Nice. I love this for you.
Brother.
I love to see you fail. I love to see your family be affected and hurt because you voted for Trump.
Yeah.
I voted for Trump. Absolutely. Did I know he was going to increase the tariffs? Yes, I did. However, I thought that the infrastructure...
I thought that it was only going to be black and brown people. That's what he thought. I don't care what he tries to say after this. He's going to go, oh, I knew he was going to increase these things, but I didn't think it was going to bother me because I'm white. Not I'm a white man.
Structure would be set up prior for small business to come back to America and manufacture in America. So to wish ill on someone and to love the fact that they're suffering, to love the fact that their family is being negatively affected because I didn't vote the same way that you did is fucked up. It really is.
No, it's not.
Anyone that enters my life, I'm going to judge you of who you are.
No, you're not.
How you are as a human being.
Not true.
Are you kind? Are you polite?
No.
Are you sincere? That's how I judge you, not
you don't.
who you voted for. I've got far left-leaning.
No, you do not.
Far right-leaning friends. It doesn't matter.
They're all far right-leaning.
I like you based on who you are.
No, you don't.
See someone hurt and their business fail and their family be affected because they didn't vote the way you did? It's fucked up. I'm sorry, a lot of you are fucked up. I'm sorry. We should all care about each other regardless of who we voted for.
Oh, we should, but y'all don't.
Hope you guys can be better people. Good luck to you guys.
So here's the problem. These kinds of people, they always expect sympathy and empathy from everyone else when the leopards eat their faces. I don't have any for you. You literally vote against community and making things good. Like, this is a country that has had the Cliff's Notes for the rest of the world and all the shit that they went through. We have literal history textbooks to look at. We have the notes right in front of our faces, the answers. And we were like, nope. And then when it's negatively impacting them, they come around and do this shit like, poor me. That's fucked up. It's not. We're going to dance on your graves. We don't care. We're at the point where we've tried for decades to explain shit. What's happened is so many of y'all have been seeing this like it's a fucking sporting event. And that's the problem. Y'all have been voting like it's a sporting event. Y'all have been utilizing this like it's a sporting event. Like it's wild behavior. We just don't know what to do with y'all. Y'all are like, my team won, yeah. And then you just like think nothing of the consequences of your team winning. Like, we don't know how to talk to y'all after that. If the entirety of your conversation is literally my team won, you're just mad your team lost. We're like, no. We're upset because of all the things that are happening right now. We have quite literally been trying to tell y'all, like, this man has problems. And now that y'all are over here like losing money and crying about it, we don't care. Because we've been broke. Like, that's the thing. We have been broke. Black and brown people, we've been broke. We've been at the bottom. We've been not getting jobs. And if you thought Gen Z was having a hard time getting a job before, because I've said this, I think, in private, but like, when you're talking about the job market and why it's fucked up, we just have to look back at the 06, 07, 08 crash situation. I always put them all together because like that was like that was the time frame for me. Because all of these people who were like 5 years from retirement, 10 years from retirement, like they weren't far from retirement. They had to keep going to work. And so because they had to keep working, that meant millennials had no upward movement. And we're still seeing the effects of that because Gen Z has nowhere to go. And now all those federal workers flooding the job market. Like, what are we supposed to do? What is the plan here? And that's why it killed me. I'm like, how do you tell people that you're going to bring jobs to America when all you've done is fire people, and you have that idiot Elon Musk running around using his child as a shield to keep anybody from, him. Like, I didn't like it when I first got here, and like, I'm feeling way too correct. You did it to yourself. It's true. And that's what really hurts. Radiohead, you did it to yourself. It's true. And that's what really hurts. Yes. Thank you. Love it. I don't see color any second. No, yeah. It goes from, I don't see color. And then what comes next is, you can be brown, purple. Who the fuck is purple, Karen? Baby, nobody's purple. So you do know. And here's the thing. I want you to see my beautiful brown skin, bitch. Like, don't trip. Like, I'm not upset I'm brown. Maybe you are, but like, I have black friends is my favorite. Don't worry, I have black friends. I'm like, do they know that? There is all this bad news, but the thing is, there's good news because we do have people out there who are really out here doing the thing. And one of them is Jasmine Crockett. All right. We all know AOC is out there. She's out there with Bernie. They're doing the things. But I wanted to bring up some things that Jasmine Crockett has been doing because I love this woman. She's gorgeous and she's fabulous.
And isn't it true that KBRWAM in Burrow, Alaska is the only broadcast service available in an area of more than 90,000 square miles?
That is correct. It's also the North Slope where the majority of all the oil production that comes from Alaska takes place.
Thank you so much. And isn't it true that without these stations' broadcast, Americans in rural communities would lack access to life-saving information and public safety alerts?
That is correct.
So in your opinion, would eliminating funding for stations in rural America like WNGH, Channel 18, and the Chairwoman's District hurt Americans?
It would hurt Americans, yes.
In fact, Georgia Public Broadcasting serves as the official distributor of evacuation route information during state-ordered evacuations, and the chairwoman is here advocating to strip their funding. Look, the DOGE agenda isn't about government efficiency. It's about breeding corruption at the expense of the safety of the American people, particularly Americans living in rural or remote parts of the country. They don't care about public safety. They don't care about emergency management, and they don't care about free speech, all of which are harming American people. In fact, I'm going to skip off real quick because they have tried to come for you, Ms. Mayor, and I just want to clarify, you did not work for NPR when those statements were made, did you?
That is correct, Madam
And to be clear, Free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bullshit. We need to stop playing, because that's what y'all are doing in here. You don't want to hear the opinions of anybody else. And the Constitution says Congress shall make no law respecting or establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the
gentlewoman's time has expired.
Press.
I love her. Every time she comes and she eats them up, because she ain't playing. Because this is the thing, like, you know, I work for USPS, right? And appointed by Trump, DeJoy, who has since stepped down, they have been working very hard to make people have distrust. I can't think of the word right off the top of my head, but make people have distrust in the USPS as a service. They have tried to make it more like Amazon. We're not Amazon. I need to stress this again. The USPS is a service. It is the only service that delivers to every American for free. When you move and you forward your address, we forward all of your mail. We forward packages. We forward things that you didn't even remember. Yes, Osprey, USPS does do all the delivery for immigration documents, visa, like Canada Post does here. Yes. Because the government takes advantage of it as well. The USPS sets prices so that FedEx, UPS, DHL, all the rest can't just charge you an arm and a leg to ship something. Let me be real with you. Next day shipping should not be a thing. It just shouldn't be a thing. Same day shipping shouldn't be a thing. Amazon did that to take up a market share. And once they had it, they quit doing it. If you have Amazon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have Prime, you went from having next day shipping to like maybe in 2 days, because they don't have an infrastructure to support shipping all of this stuff all around the US in the next day. You know, I live here, so I don't know how it is in the UK or anywhere else. They just don't have the infrastructure to be able to do that, because they do not have enough people who are willing to work like that. Granted, at Amazon, you can work 4 10-hour days, but at the same time, there's only so many people that they have that they can run through to do that. It's outsourced in a lot of different ways. And the same thing with FedEx. There are people who are FedEx, but they're not FedEx. There are people who are last mile for USPS, but they're not USPS. There's not the infrastructure to do that. And they have been trying to cut all of this stuff. And the very same people cheering this on, government waste, do not realize that those are services that they take part in every day. Yeah, I would join her cult if she started one, because she's not playing. She's literally had enough. She's out there. AOC is out there. Bernie Sanders is out there. They are trying to stop this. There are people who are actually still trying to stop this. And that's what gives me hope as we're like walking into this age of anti-intellectualism. I don't have the backing, the documentation for when this started, but I'm going to say from my observations, when anti-intellectualism truly started, for me, when I noticed it was during Bush 2's years, because college started to become less and less affordable for people. And as college starts to get less and less affordable, you can't go. And there starts to have this feeling of people being like, well, you know, I guess I'm not as smart as these people because I can't afford to go. And so what do? You just start telling people that they are, like, if you look at the Tea Party movement, that they are just as smart, they are just as intelligent, that their opinion is just as important as fact. And it's not.
You in danger, girl.
You are in danger, girl. And so we're now in this like era where we're just watching people who financially couldn't afford college. And I understand that it shouldn't be that way. College should be affordable, if not free. It should be affordable, if not free. Higher learning should not only be for the elite of society. It should not be for the top 1%. And so you had people who couldn't afford to go being able to have access to the internet, and then being able to go, well, I know this information, so I'm right too. I'm right. And you're like, but an opinion is not fact. And you're constantly having to explain this to people, like, an opinion is not fact. I can have 1,000 opinions. It doesn't mean that any of them are factual. But we have to start paying more attention to facts. And you can utilize the power of the internet to help you understand facts, to help you understand what's truly going on. It's hard because there's a ton of people just running around saying, I'm a person saying things, right? You can fact check me. And that's something we should all be invested in doing. We should be invested in checking the facts on what somebody says and making sure that whatever they're saying is factual. Yes, you graduated 2001, still owe 50K, and those loans were predatory as hell. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand, that these loans are massively predatory. And people are just like, well, you shouldn't have taken out the loan then. And you're like, okay, let me just take a step back. A lot of us were told, go to college, they said. You can get any job you want, they said. Don't worry about the debt part. You'll be able to pay that off no problem because you'll get a great job. And now here we are. And jobs that 20 years ago paid $10 an hour are still paying $10 an hour. The cost of everything else has gone up. Our pay has not increased. Our benefits have not gotten better. You have people literally utilizing Uber and DoorDash, like these kinds of things, to take them to the hospital because it's cheaper than an ambulance ride. So like our reality right now is that you're having to contend with people who are getting a lot of false information. And it's sad. You have people like RFK finally being like, oh, hey, maybe you should in fact get the measles vaccine. Who's saying he's going to figure out a solution to the autism epidemic by September. We already have the solution. It's genetic. There's not a solution. There's not a cure, and I don't want a cure. And he has what kind of degree in science? What kind of PhD? Nothing. He's just like a random man who just wanders around telling people things. And people believe this. They're like, no, it's fine. Have we not learned? have we not learned a damn thing? And like Hassan always says, these billionaires have not even once considered when we're all poor, we can't buy their little treats. Everybody's going to start contracting, if they haven't already, contracting their spending. So all the little treats, we're not going to buy them. And the way that people were applauding, like, haha, you can't buy your crappy stuff from Shein, babes. It's all made in the same factory. You're not better than someone because you purchased Levi's. It's all the same factory. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all of your name brand clothes, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's all child labor. It's all poor people enriching themselves. Like that's why China got the way China is. That's why. They can build the cheap stuff that you make fun of, but they can also make really fabulous computer chips that are in your phone, making it a computer. A large swath of Americans do not have a grasp at all on how like fucking everything, damn near everything you have in your house, China, Vietnam, Mexico, and Brazil. That's where we are. I can't stress enough to you. They moved all of that a long time ago because they didn't want to pay us. They're not going to bring jobs here magically. Even if we had the infrastructure, they still weren't going to do that. They still weren't going to pay us well. And if you need any evidence of that, I need you to look at Amazon. Amazon, the people who work in the factories, because that's really what it is. We've exchanged the word factories with warehouse. So the people who work in the warehouses are not paid well. They do not have unions, and they're getting paid anywhere from $10 to $15 an hour. It depends on where you are. That's not even a livable wage. Let's not pretend that it is for 1 second. And if you're one of those people who likes to say dumb shit, like why should, somebody who does this job that I think is lesser than me get paid as much as me, then please leave. Just see yourself out. You're already not part of what we need to be. You're not part of the revolution. We're going to have to leave you behind. So glad we were able to wake up. Those Republicans with iPhones will find out when they have to pay $1,500 to $2,500 for a new one. More than that, because that's the current. That's closer to the current price. It'll be like $4,000 or $5,000 for a phone. We're not in a place where we can negotiate. I needed to say that out loud because it's wild. They keep saying that cheap Chinese crap. No, that was the 80s and the 90s, babes. They have moved on. It's the same way people will turn around and be like, well, you got to get a trade. First of all, they have worked very hard. The Democrats have done it too. They just don't say it, to eliminate unions or make unions very, very weak to where these great union jobs aren't great. Also, you have to work with the right people to even get in a unionized plumbing job or a unionized HVAC job. Like, it's not every company that has it, because we saw it happen with IT. Everybody was told, get in IT, get in computer engineering, do this. Everybody got into it. Look what's happening there. There's not some magical way out. And when you're looking at it, it's just like people literally should have been able to have a step in between college, vocational schools, and just going straight into work. All of those things should be available, and you should be able to have a livable wage off of any of those options, because it used to be that way and it should continue to be that way. And again, when China picks up the US scientists who are getting kicked out, then I want to see how because this is the other thing that this is just my opinion. Europe, UK, China, Korea, like all of these places are going to start picking up and recruiting, if they haven't already, because I suspect that they have, top people in the US in these positions. They're going to start recruiting, and you will be working from home, and they will pay you in a US dollar. Will you be like awake at weird hours to do these jobs? Possibly. Will you care? No. But we do have our options. We do have things that we can do to resist at the best that we can. Again, if all you can do is boycott, then you're doing great. Don't get stressed out. Don't feel like you're not doing enough. I need people to understand that, like, you are doing enough. You are doing what you can. Many of us have families that depend on us, so we cannot be out there protesting. A lot of Black and brown people will not go out there and protest at all because we know what's up. And we understand that it's not really a great idea for us to be out there, especially with the way that they're attempting to maneuver things. We know currently that when they're trying to stop these protests that are happening, we're very much aware that they're not going to shoot because of the overwhelming sea of white there. And we want to keep it this way. Shop local if you can, but be aware that like shopping local is about to get even more difficult and restrictive because of all of these tariffs. It's going to get harder. Stock up on what you can. Help those in your community that you can help. If you can protest, just remember all of the things. Go find information somewhere on the internet that tells you how to protest safely, keeping your face and identity secret. Take care of yourself in that regard. I think the hardest part for me these past however many months is watching my white friends catch on. I'm like, where have you been? Yeah. I think that, again, one of the reasons that we need people to be out there really having these conversations, especially white people to other white people, because I think what's happening and has been happening is that if you don't see it, you don't think it's true, right? And you think that your Black friends aren't like other Black people, which I need you to stop that because that's still a form of racism. Thanks. Your Latino friends aren't like other Latinos. The rhetoric of immigrate properly needs to die down because a lot of y'all have zero idea of how difficult it is to immigrate to any country, let alone America. And so like the idea of like, I'm just going to go live somewhere. I'm just going to move to Canada. Babes, you're not. I'm so sorry. Other countries have borders too. For those of you who have empathy and can't do the work, do so, but also take your rest and take your breaks. Resting is resisting. I'm not saying that you don't care about what's going on, but you do take breaks from all of this. Like I take breaks from all of this because if I don't, I will self-combust. Like I will combust. I will stop doing anything and everything. But I do try to keep knowledge flowing into my noggin because I think what has truly started to calm me down a bit here and there is being able to have things explained to me in a way that I understand, being able to have factual information brought down to my level so that I can understand what they're talking about, because it's just like a lot of the government stuff, it's just like lawyer speak to me. As soon as you start heretofore-ing, I'm out, right? But I need people to explain things to me in a way that I can understand, in a way that makes sense, so that I can not panic. It's very easy to like set yourself up to panic and be like, what am I gonna do? You just have to keep moving right now. It is weird that we just have to keep waking up every day to see like, what is the maniac up to now? That's the wild thing. At the end of the day, you just have to recognize that there are things you can do, and all of the things are not necessarily going to be active, and that's all right. And this is again where I tend to often like disagree sometimes with some on the left, but I think that we should allow for disagreement as leftists and still work together, because had we done that, we wouldn't have Trump right now. Yeah, don't take your phone to the protest, okay? Leave your government tracking device behind. All of you, especially if you have Messenger, because Messenger be doing a lot of things you don't realize that they're doing. I've started learning a lot about what Messenger does. Correct me if I'm wrong, but currently, from my understanding of Messenger, it's literally connecting to the phones around you, gathering data and information, whether you want it to or not. So get that off your phone, by the way. So we're living in dark times. In the midst of all this chaos, what I'm hoping to be for y'all is the band continuing to play as the Titanic sinks. So I give you some nonsense and some good fun. And then also, you know, sometimes we're going to talk about politics and you're going to you don't have to be there for that. You don't have to be there for my weird ass show reviews. You don't have to be there for any of that. That's fine. I understand. Like, that's my function in life, because I can't get super focused on all the politics and all the things that are happening. But I do like to try to bring some of that around so that y'all can be aware of the things. So just remember, like, you're doing the best that you can, and that's enough. You don't have to push further and harder than you can. You don't have to be super plugged into everything that's happening. Take your breaks from all of this. Drink your water, says the person who doesn't like water, but I've been drinking it lately. Eat good food when you can. Spend time with your friends in whatever way that you can. Spend time with them. We are human beings. We have failings. You don't have to spend time reaching across the aisle to people who don't want to reach across the aisle. You don't have to do all that. Depend on one another. Don't be tricked into feeling like the communities that you build online aren't communities. They are. If they are helping you to stay alive and feel good and feel confident, then they're community. Invest in your community, be with your community, do whatever you can to just like stay sane and stay happy and stay safe. And that's it. That's all. Bye, YouTube. I'm sorry you got a double ad break. There's like not a lot I can do. There is one thing I want to talk about on the YouTube side of things, and that is that YouTube changed how they do ads. So I'm in a bit of a pickle. If you don't have premium or you're not subscribed, I'm not sure if that works on the YouTube side. They've rolled out this thing where you have to place ads in advantageous spots. I don't know how else to explain it. And so the thing is, if I do the ads myself and place them how I want, their AI says that that is not a good spot for an ad and that it's interrupting the content. So then I let them place them. And when I tell you that there are like ads on top of ads, inside of ads, giving birth to ads, that is what's happening. The issue is if I delete the ad, like try to delete some of them, it'll be like, well, we're no longer gonna place them for you, which is a problem because, as I said earlier, even if I have breaks that I think are like, I good pause, because I've tried placing ads myself and it has just been like, no. So I'm sorry is all I can say. If you don't have premium, all I can say is, as I'm working through this, bear with me if there's like 1,000 ads. I'm trying to figure a way around it because I do still want to get, paid a smidgen, just like a little, because this is how I'm paying for my USPS boots. I wish I was kidding.